here has often kept me going when it looked like the opposite was here. When I thought about all the things I'd lost in Dad, I had to kind of work on thinking about my husband. Went through a lot of relationships and was trying to find husband qualities and dad qualities, looking in people. And I ended up expecting a baby at 16 and trying really hard, looking for love again in the wrong places. It didn't seem like heaven was here. And yet there's that promise that Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you, and the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So again, I began to translate qualities of relationships into ideas, because I knew there had to be more here than what I could see with my eyes. And I thought about all the things that relationships express, what qualities are expressed in relationships. And I had some normal ideas. I had some pretty normal ideas about what I thought was cool and what I thought was wonderful in relationships. But I began to think deeply about, okay, so when you're holding hands, what quality of God do you express? And I thought about togetherness and oneness and a sense of unity. And I wrote those qualities down because I needed to tune into some music. This music of heaven is here. It fills all space, but we don't see it because we have a whole bunch of other static stuff. Some of it's been imposed on us. Some of it's coming from radio, television, or from DNA, from all different places. And I'd heard these things in the Bible after I started studying these ideas, that God is love, that God saw everything he made and it's very good, that God created man in his own image, male and female, and this meant there had to be more going on here. So tuning into these ideas was a daily and a moment-by-moment experience that I had, and with this relationship thing particularly. And I wrote these qualities down, and I thought of everything people do, everything I thought was wonderful in relationships. I even got kind of human in it. I always thought a hairy chest was really cool. And I thought, it's not hair, I wouldn't like an ape. You know, so what was it I was feeling a sense of warmth and tenderness. Those were the qualities I was looking for. You know, whether it's a bowl of ice cream or a good movie or first class on the airplane, what's really behind it is what feels like heaven. The idea that we're served, that we're loved, that we're cherished, that we have infinite space is first class. Or the idea that life is sweet. Taste and see that the Lord is good as a bowl of ice cream. So I wrote down spiritual qualities and I got real. I thought of everything people do, people feel, and I translated it into the music of love. And as I did this, I began to feel so in love and love in me. And I didn't need people to bring me love anymore. People became an opportunity to share this love. And I found that the sharing was more kind because I was loving myself first. And loving myself as the expression of spiritual qualities allowed me to see in others those wonderful qualities, which is the basis of Christian Science healing. And the most amazing things begin to happen because when you know the truth, Jesus says, it'll make you free. Free from not knowing the music of love. Life changed drastically. In fact, it was so drastic that I ended up from hard rock singer with a little child and high school dropout meeting this, this really nice guy, but I wouldn't have dated him if I'd been in high school kind of guy with all these masters and spoke all these languages and rather different than my choice, opposites attract sometimes. But he had this incredible spiritual identity that he was in touch with. And in that, fear began to dissolve as I understood that when you understand spiritual qualities, then the things that come at you can't make you afraid. I gave you a 4R system of thought. It's not a formula. But what I started doing was thinking from the basis of heaven is here, instead of what's out there that can make me complete. And what happened is, I found this sense of love so fulfilling, so warm and so wonderful, that When my husband had a difficult situation in the military where it looked like he wasn't going to survive, wasn't going to live, because the doctors said he had such a bad physical, mental challenge, that when those things came at me, I did this 4R process. I had this wonderful sense of my husband being spiritual qualities that I'd seen before I'd met this man, Craig. I felt that my husbanding qualities weren't in people, they were in my oneness with the music of love. And I'd grown so close to those that when my husband's health was threatened, I went back to those wonderful qualities that I'd found in God. And when the doctor said he's not going to make it, I did the first R, and I said, no, I reject that thought on the basis that heaven is here. And then I thought about the second R, which is I reversed. I thought of all the spiritual qualities that have to do with husbanding. Oneness, openness, tenderness, protection, unity, lasting love. And I was able then to rest without that fear interfering with the music of my affections. Then I replaced. I thought, right where this precious man is and this disease seems to be, God got there first. Heaven is in that place. God is everywhere. How can an infinite love that includes all spiritual qualities be divided into little places, or attacked by disease, or killed, or removed? Love cannot be attacked. You can't slap spiritual qualities. You can't poke a hole in tenderness. Spiritual qualities, when recognized and lived and understood through a deep prayer and study of the Bible and science and health, show you the heaven that you're wanting so desperately is already yours. And you know, then the other R I did was right in that place. So I rejected, no, I'm not afraid. I reversed, made a list of the spiritual qualities that were health and buoyancy, the opposite of this stuff that the disease said it was, taking the place away from, or taking away from the place. And then I replaced right there, God got there first, and then I rejoiced. And this process was one of acknowledging heaven, saying no to fear, because fear, once it's gone, has absolutely no voice. It's a coward, it's a bully, and it's unreal. It's static to the music of your life. And within a year, my husband had this incredible healing. It was so marvelous that the military did an officer efficiency report and said there's no explanation for what happened. And in spite of these difficult experiences he had in the military, his career was restored. I found that the acknowledgement of your reality and the goodness of God's presence and facing fear with this powerful authority we have as children of God heals. And let's see a little bit more about the next topic, which is, where are we going with this next one? What's the next song?
In His Eyes.
In His Eyes. Ooh,